So one of the most beautiful things about trading in the stock market is that you can make money when the stock is going up or down. Way different from long-term investing, right? So in this video, I'm gonna go over how you can make money on the way down, what to look out for, all of that. Don't worry, I got you in this video. If this video was helpful at all, make sure you like and subscribe. Join the team, join the family. I post videos, trading videos on a regular basis. But without further ado, man, let me get into it so I can explain to y'all how you trade, right? So the trend is your friend. And the trend is your friend means you want to trade with the trend. So let's look at the trend. I'm looking at AMD on the weekly chart and the daily chart. If you look on both the weekly and daily chart, right? This last candle on the uptrend, we were trending upwards, right? All of this trending upwards. Now, the stock has fluctuation within a trend, but it's trending upwards, right? So we had that trend. That's both weekly and a daily chart. I'm looking at them on a longer time frame because the longer time frame gives you a bigger picture of what the stock is doing, right? So on both the daily and the weekly, on this one, it came to this pivot point, but also the top of the Bollinger Band and made this long wick, right? That's not actually a confirmation to really enter the trade bearish, unless you got multiple indicators. So you were overbought on the RSI and the MACD cross. If you wanted to do a swing trade, this area where you see that MACD cross and the RSI oversold, it would have been a good time to trade this downwards. Now, me personally, I don't do swing trades in a downward motion just because the stock market moves in an uptrend over the long term, right? So I mostly do swings in the upward direction. But as you can see, even on the daily chart, we got the pivot point right here. We got the Bollinger Band line right here. And this candle had this long wick, right? It was a bearish. Let me clean this up so you can see the candle a little bit better combined with these indicators, right? So it closed the day right at that pivot point. And all of that wick was the stock went up to that point, but came down and closed right at this area, right? So, okay, that's giving good confirmation that the stock market is that it's getting rejected on that level. So once you got a confirmation, me personally, like I said, I don't really do swing trades to the downside, but me personally, I wouldn't really get in this trade until I seen a pattern confirmation. So this was kind of like a start of the confirmation, and then it started to trend downwards. As you can see, the stock trended downwards on a daily chart. So it started to trend downwards, but right here is where you see the head and shoulders pattern. Right? The head and shoulders pattern. The head and shoulders pattern does not confirm until it breaks that neckline, in which it broke the neckline, and it's on the way down. Now, that shows you what direction the market is in. If you look at NVIDIA or you look at the rest of the market, that will kind of tell you which area the stock is going. And the reason why I say NVIDIA is because AMD is a semiconductor company just like NVIDIA. So you got to look at the broader market, but you also got to look at the sector to understand which direction the stock is going overall, right? So we got a key level that we at right now on a daily. We got that bad boy, the 200 MA, right? We at the 200 MA on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we got some way down to go. So is busting through the 200 MA possible? Yes, it is. The 200 MA is a strong line of support and resistance, but we also got a pivot point right here. So the 200 MA is probably going to come down to this point right here and then start in the upward motion, being that stocks are going to report earnings soon, right? But if you wanted to play a swing on AMD, it's looking pretty swing worthy at this point. We're very oversold on the RSI. It can go lower than that point, but we're oversold on the RSI and we're right at that 50 MA, right? So that's long term. That's looking at the total outlook for the stock, right? That's looking at the total outlook. If you look at the fear and greed index, there's a lot of fear in the market, and you want to get greedy when others are fearful, which means there's going to be a strong pull going up north pretty soon. So you want to prepare for that, even though the market, my bad, y'all. So you want to prepare for that, even though the market is going down. So let's talk about Monday and what we think is going to happen on Monday. I got the 5-minute chart and I got the 15-minute chart, right? So on the 5-minute chart, we got a double bottom right here at the pivot point, okay? We got the MACD cross showing upward motion, and the RSI didn't really break. I like to look at the midline. I don't know if that's an actual confirmed thing, but personally, I like to look at the midline of the RSI as a support and resistance level, because that's what I've been seeing over time, right? So we're at a nice level of resistance at the RSI. Not quite. We could go up a little bit, touch it, come back down, whatever the case is. So we do have what looks like it could be a double bottom, but double bottoms are also in bear flags, right? So the trend is your friend. So ideally, you want to plan for the trade to go on the downside, but have upside optimism, right? To make sure you not getting tricked and you ready for whatever. So I feel like when a stock is far away from the 200 MA, it kind of gravitates towards the 200 MA, right? On the 5-minute, that's the 200. On the 15, that's the 200. Also on the 15-minute, we're right here at the pivot point near the bottom of the Bollinger Band, extremely oversold on the RSI, and we're crossing on the MACD. Looking like a real nice bullish setup on the 15-minute chart. So on the 15-minute chart, I wouldn't really enter this trade until this is obviously a nice level of support. We got the midline of the Bollinger Band, which is a 20 SMA, and the pivot point. As you can see, the stock came down to the pivot point, bounced back up. So if it breaks through this area, I would probably enter the trade. If I'm looking at it on the 15-minute chart, I would probably enter the trade here and start to look profits around here at the, the 50 MA, right? And then I would see what it do, because that's the top of the Bollinger Band and the 50 MA. So I would literally only want to trade in this zone right here, that small portion, for a day trade, right? That's looking at the 15. I like to trade off of the 5. So off of the 5, I would enter this trade kind of similar. I would want, this is already crossed, so I'm cool on the MACD. I would want it to break the RSI. I would want it to break this pivot point and also break the, the black line is the, I don't know what moving average, but I would want it to break this moving average, probably come up and probably retest it before entering. Now, if it's going straight up on high volume, then I could enter that at that point. But if it's not going up on high volume and I have the suspicion of it retesting, then I'm gonna let it break through and retest to see if it was doing a fake out and it's actually going to the downside, right? So on AMD, it's looking like AMD is gonna go up tomorrow, but we are in a downward market, right? So the stock could be up for the day, it could be down for the day, but it's giving me bullish activity for Monday. So I would err on the side of caution for call options during a bear market. The market is going down. So what you can do, if it goes up to here, right? Everything I just showed you is on bullish activity. But if it goes up to here and it touches the top of the Bollinger Band and these two moving averages, then it could go up and come back down. And on the 5 minute, what's this, the 5 minute chart, it got a lot of room that it can go back down. A stock could go extremely oversold. So looking at the 15, I wouldn't let that deceive you and be like, it can't go down anymore, because the stock does have room to continue to go down. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at both bullish and bearish opportunities. On this one, on the 15, if you like to look at the 15, it's towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band, but it can break through or fake out. So if you look, and I'm going to go back to the daily chart because I want y'all to see something on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, if we go back to the daily chart, this is something that used to like fake me out when I first started trading, but every candle has wicks, right? Every candle has wicks, which means that if a stock starts in a certain direction, that don't mean that's the way it's going to end. Every candle has some kind of wick, whether the stock started within one direction, went back down to another direction, then went back up. Whatever the case is, every candle has wicks. So you gotta take that into consideration. When the stock goes up, expect the possibility of it going down. And when a stock starts up in a day, I kind of already get the opinion like this could go back down. And if it's just start busting up on high volume through like a level like this, and when I say high volume, I'm looking over here. That is something that you have to add to the chart. That red with the volume, that's downward volume, and this is high volume in the upward direction. As you can see on two different time frames, is giving you two different volumes. So it really depends on your favorite time frame to trade on. I like to trade on the 5 minute chart. So AMD is looking bullish tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that the stock won't end bearish. What I'm looking for a put. You can trade in both directions. You could do a call option once it gets to your level of resistance. Then you could do a put option, right? But I'm looking for it to go up initially, hit a certain level of support, whether that's a moving average or a pivot point, and then to come back down. If it continues to go up on high volume, then I'm in it just like that, man. I hope this video was helpful, man. Y'all join the team and like and subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow.